MSNBC host Ali Velshi absolutely decimated Representative Jim Jordan, a Tea Party Republican, on the issue of health care.
To do it exactly what we told him we were going to do. So that's why I introduced yesterday something we all have agreement on, a clean repeal, because we all voted for it just about a year ago. We put it on President Obama's desk. Of course, he vetoed it. But if it goes on President Trump's desk, I think he'll sign it. I know he'll sign it. So let's go with something we can all agree on. And phase one would be clean repeal. Then we can still get to phase two and phase three that our leadership's talking about. But we can do it in a way that unites our party and is consistent with what we told the voters we were going to do.
So in the meantime, when you do a clean repeal, there are going to be a whole lot of people who were insured who aren't going to be insured.
This is real important. The effective date is December 31st, 2018. So there's an off ramp. There's a phase down. We understand you need a wind down to this, but you also need at that time to create a marketplace and to do phase two and phase three.
Right.
This is so logical. So we know Obamacare's a mess. Fewer choices, higher premiums, higher deductibles. It's a complete disaster.
Right.
So
I have to stop you there, sir. I have to stop you there because I hear this talking point all the time. There have always higher premiums every year, and under Obamacare, the premium increase has been lower. I heard you guys at your press conference yesterday sort of mincing words with that one. We do have to acknowledge that. There were higher premiums before Obamacare, there are higher premiums during Obamacare, but the rate of increase has been slower.
Ali, no one's arguing that health care was wonderful before, but what we've forgotten in America is what a health care market looks like. So think about what Obamacare did. More mandates, more taxes, more regulation, drive up the cost of insurance, mandate people buy it, and if they don't, they get penalized. What kind of deal is that?
Okay.
Let's actually bring back affordable insurance for working-class families.
There was never affordable insurance. And I was just saying to Bill Kristol, nowhere on the face of the earth is there a free health insurance market that works. If you could point me to one and say that a free market works, it's just one of those areas that a free market doesn't work.
It will work much better than it's working now under complete government control of health care, for goodness sake. Do you think people are satisfied now? How about people in the individual market who went from paying, single people individual market went from paying $100, $200 a month to paying $500, $600 a month for a $6,000 deductible policy?
You know, sir, that in all those countries, all the developed countries that have single-payer systems or universal health care, happiness about health care is actually substantially greater than it is in the United States.
Then why do they all come here? Why do they all come here for treatment?
They don't all come here. Republicans say that all the time. They don't all come here. They don't all come here. People in Canada, people in Norway, people in the United Kingdom, people in Sweden, people in Denmark, they don't all come to the United States for health care. Why do you say that?
Well, because you see it all the time. People in Canada come here for extensive surgery. They come here and get it done in the United States.
Sir, I grew up in Canada. I live in Canada. My entire family's in Canada. Nobody I know ever came to the United States for health care. I'm sure you have a handful of stories about things like that. It's not actually statistically true.
Yeah, well, you think Obamacare is great? You think the idea that...
No, I'm absolutely not saying that. I'm not arguing Obamacare. I'm arguing the fact that you keep on saying that a free market works. But just name me one country. One country in the world where a free market system for health care works.
We just had an election in last November.
So in other words, I'm going to go ahead and not answer the question. That's what I'm going to do. Just name me one place where free market capitalist healthcare works. You see, what had happened was... What I'm going to do is I'm going to deflect and distract and pivot and not answer and talk about how we just had an election. And we had an election. The election was in November. And it was an election. So there. That doesn't mean anything. He asked you, name one place where free market healthcare works. You don't have an answer to it. That's what we call a dodge in the business. Ali Velshi did a fantastic job there, which is why it's my guess he has maybe a year left max before they fire him. Ali, you didn't get the memo, bro. You can't just openly argue for actual progressive policies on MSNBC. You have to be a Democratic partisan. So you have to say, what the Republicans are doing is bad, but the Democrats are always right. But there's a problem with that. The Democrats don't push for single-payer health care. They should, but they don't. So now you're arguing for single-payer. Ooh, you're on thin ice. Management is not going to like that very much. So he says, well, let's do what we all agree on, the Tea Party congressman. Let's do a clean repeal of Obamacare. Okay, that is such an irresponsible idea that even Trump and Paul Ryan were like, I don't know about that. Why? Because that would mean 30 million people lose their health insurance like that. 30 million. Now, it turns out with the, what Trump and Ryan want to do, about half of that 30 million will still lose their insurance. But even they were like, yeah, just a clean repeal with nothing to replace. I don't know about that. That's a really bad idea. Doesn't stop this Tea Party moron from pushing for it. Then, again, great job by Ali Velshi calling out this bullshit talking point. But he goes, higher premiums under Obamacare. The premiums are higher. Now, if you look at that in a vacuum, you'll go, oh, that's a problem. So I guess Obamacare is the issue, right? No, as he explains, there's always higher premiums, and Obamacare actually slowed the rate of growth in those higher premiums. So that's actually a point in Obamacare's favor. And I'm not the biggest fan of Obamacare. Again, I want a single-payer system. I want a Medicare for all system. But the Republicans used misleading bullshit in their arguments against it. And then, look, the dagger in the heart there is nowhere on earth do we have free market capitalist healthcare where it works. The flip side, so in other words, our position, we do have empirical evidence, and we do have countries we could point to. He pointed out a bunch right there. You talk about Canada, you talk about Australia, you talk about Britain, you talk about Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden. Every other modern country has one version or another of a single-payer system, and it works, and they rank better. Now, again, that's not my opinion. That's a fact. So first, you have the World Health Organization study that everybody points to. Granted, that's outdated now, but the U.S. was 37th on the list. I think France was number 1. The top of the list is packed with those single-payer healthcare countries. But even the more modern ones, there was, I think, one in 2014 done by the Commonwealth Fund on healthcare around the world, and the U.S. ranked last among the modern nations. So, again, it's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of fact. Those countries do it better. We have our answer, they just don't want to accept it because they're ideologues. They can't point to a place where free market healthcare has had these fantastic results. We could point to over a dozen places where single-payer systems have had great results. And at one point, he just flat out lies in the middle there. We have complete government control of healthcare. No, we don't. I wish we did. That would be single-payer, and it would work better. But he says like Obamacare is already a single-payer system, which it's not. And then the cherry on top lie of the people come here for healthcare. Yeah, you know who comes here for healthcare? Saudi princes who are billionaires. That's who comes here. Because if you're really, really, really rich, sure, you get the best healthcare. But if you're middle class, if you're poor, you get bad healthcare. In fact, that's the problem, is that in other modern nations, they prioritize based on need. Hey, who gets the healthcare? Who needs the healthcare? So that's why people go, oh my God, they ration care. Everybody rations care. It's just a matter of how you ration it. They ration it by need. Okay, you need care, you get it right now. You know how we ration it? The size of your wallet. So we ration it based on, oh, do you have money? Are you poor? Are you middle class? You're going to have to wait. Oh, even if it's a serious thing, you're going to have to wait. We Saudi princes we take care of first. So the Republican, as bankrupt as the Democratic Party is and their ideas are, the Republican Party is just a joke. They're a fucking joke. They don't know anything. They talk out of their ass. They're ideologues who are stuck on Rush Limbaugh talking points. And Ali Velshi did a fantastic job exposing it right there.